right, we're at 12.2, which is the first reading of the 2022-2023 Board of Trustees meetings calendar, and I believe Ms. McPhail is driving this conversation.
Again, in your board packet, you saw that, as you know, our Lexington County School District Board of Trustees, y'all, meet on the third Tuesday of each month, typically 7 p.m. And so the following are the third Tuesdays for the 2022-2023 academic year. So we recommend the third Tuesday meetings as follows. That's July 19th, September 20th, October 18th, and November 15th of 2022, as well as January 17th, February 21st, March 21st, and May 16th of 2023. We do bring forth 4 exceptions for your considerations. Those exceptions are August the 23rd. The third Tuesday in August falls on the first day of school. And as you may understand, the first day of school is a very, very hectic day for not only all of us, but many of the staff who might come and present, and all of our staff, and many of you as well, and parents. So we are asking that we move that one to the 4th Tuesday of the month. So move that to August 23rd. The next exception would be the December meeting. The third Tuesday is actually during winter break. So we are asking that we move that to the 2nd Tuesday, which will be December 14th. And then we recommend moving the April meeting to the 4th Tuesday of the month in consideration of the budget process. So that would be April the 25th of 2023. And then we recommend moving the June meeting to the 2nd Tuesday of the month, a lot like we just discussed earlier this meeting, to allow administration to attend the SCASA annual meeting. So we recommend June the 13th of 2023 for that meeting. We also have some proposed second dates for 5 additional board workshops and or meetings that we'd like to add to the calendar. As you know, we add these meetings and workshops for things like the year in review or the superintendent's evaluation or the budget presentation. We recommend the following dates for those workshops or meetings. September the 6th is our strategic plan workshop. October the 4th is the superintendent's evaluation. December the 6th is board training and the swearing in ceremony. November 8th is election day, so we will need that swearing in ceremony. April the 11th for human resources. Usually when we have a second meeting, we try to do that the first Tuesday of the month, but that falls during spring break in April. So this would be the 2nd Tuesday in April. That would be for human resource reasons and anything else as needed. And then May the 2nd, also for human resources, because Devonna is going to be hiring so many excellent people, yes, and additional items as needed. And of course, additional meetings may be scheduled as needed for hiring recommendation purposes or at the board's need. So this is just the first reading, so we present these dates to you for just reaction and review, and we have no recommendations for action at this time.
And I just have a question. And this is a good night to ask this question because we have a full board meeting tonight, and yesterday was a holiday. Is that reasonable to ask of the staff?
It's certainly tough on us as staff. Tracy and I and Megan, they're all shaking their heads because it is definitely tough. But we know that the public knows it's the 3rd Tuesday of the month typically, so we try to honor that as much as we can. That is something, of course, that you could consider if that's something that you want to think about. I think there was at least one of those. Let me see. I brought our calendar here.
Like I know it occurs like after Labor Day, but that's
September the 6th, which would be your
strategic plan
board strategic planning,
which is a heavy lift for y'all because you do a lot for that. I'm not trying to blow up the calendar. I just know that even this weekend, and it was compounded, because we had a long weekend, and so Friday was kind of a quasi holiday, half day virtual work day. And then yesterday was an actual holiday, and there are just some things, as far as legal notice requirements that come into play with our meetings. And I'm just trying to figure out, are we just, I mean, y'all did a marvelous job. We've made it through till 11 o'clock, and we're still going. I'm just asking, is that something that, I'm asking you to be honest about.
It is hard. It is hard, but we make it work. But certainly if there was some, I could maybe propose some other dates. I think that September 6th is the only date that would happen, and that's the Labor Day Monday. So, I mean, I could propose either maybe Wednesday of that week or Thursday of that week or something like that. Or, sometimes I don't know how y'all feel about doing back-to-back weeks, doing that the next week would be the September 13th, but then you have a meeting on September 13th and September 20th. But, I mean, I'm happy to throw out some other dates.
And again, I'm
really
not asking to like completely rework the calendar. I just know, I mean, Dr. Lowell and I have had the conversation before that it is, it's an arduous task sometimes for y'all to come in and from a holiday and have a meeting that night. So,
if that's the only time it's happening and
I
it's
think
just a
that it would
3-day
probably
week,
be
I
okay.
think we can make that happen.
okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I just have some discussion. The only thing stopping us from not moving the meetings is our own policy. So if they're saying that's a hardship on them, I don't see why we couldn't, make adjustments for us. And I'm just curious, down here where it says, we've recommended the following meeting dates. So on April the 11th and May the 2nd, this is for Devonna, those are human resources. Do we need additional meetings just for HR? Because if we're just getting a report, I mean, can that not be?
So that would be probably your call. What we're trying to get to is that May 1st deadline for contracts for teachers. So if we're getting teachers from other districts, other places, we kind of have to get them before May 1st. So it's important that we get as many as we can before then. Rather that's a full-blown meeting or a meeting that we just have, a small session of to do hiring. I just need the hiring.
that's
So
what I
whatever
was
is your
asking.
pleasure at that point, yes.
So you could just call a meeting just for an HR approval?
That would be fine
and
with
not
me.
have a
That's all
full
I
board
need
meeting?
from that meeting,
Okay.
correct, yep.
Okay. I think that ties into the next agenda item about executive session placement. So I had a couple more questions to ask you, Devonna. So if we just want to move executive session placement.
Hang on just a minute.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we don't have any other items on the
Okay.
calendar. Does anybody else have any comments or questions for Ms. McPhail or each other about the calendar?
I'm just happy to not meet on the first day of school.
Yes, oh,
That was challenging this year.
yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now we are on 12.3. Ms. Garris?